Good morning, Lily, and good morning to everybody, and welcome back to the channel and the allotment on this lovely sunny day. Woke up this morning and looked out of the window. Everything were iced over and we had blue skies. Now doesn't that just change the whole mood of the day? Got a little bit of cardboard. My allotment neighbour brought me some over after seeing the last video, so I'm going to get that into the small greenhouse and get that sorted. Now I've got a peak cap. I'm putting the mic on here instead of it clattering about. One of my old pals who lives over in Nebraska, Sel, how we doing, pal? Gave me that tip, so I'm using that today. I might sound a little bit sniffly because I've got a little bit of man flu, and I'll show you the reason for why I think I got that. Yesterday me and Mick were down on that top area, as I've said, and we had the 360 digger and it was Baltic. We had sleet, we had a little bit of snow, we had rain. I think it got to about, I think it were up to about 4 degrees, something like that. It was freezing. My hands were dropping off, but I'll show you a clip of that later on. But for now, what I want to do is get into that greenhouse where it's a little bit warmer and get this cardboard down. So let's crack on. Right. Oh yeah, you can feel the difference in here. It's absolutely makes a pleasant change. So all I'm going to do is fold this over like so. It just helps keep the moisture in. Dry out. Now I've got it like that, I'll just turn it over like that. Get a couple of bricks on it. So I'm hoping everybody has got sunshine like we have here, because I'll tell you, it makes a refreshing change. I think most YouTubers, particularly allotment YouTubers, it's been a big topic of conversation in recent videos. Everybody is sick to the back teeth of it. So yeah, it just makes a refreshing change. But yeah, I'm feeling it a little bit today because, as I say, it was absolutely freezing yesterday. Freezing, and that's no exaggeration. But the job does look absolutely fantastic. Really pleased that we've got that done. So the next thing is to look and start finding a supplier for the scalpings. Right, I'm going to have to move you because you're in the way. Right, that's everywhere cardboarded, and I'll pull back in a little bit and just show you how that looks. What I'm doing now is I'm just getting these canners weeded, because in the next, I would say probably 4 weeks time, I will start and divide these canners to double the amount that I have. These play a big part in the garden at home, and I also have given a few to neighbours when I've done the cuttings, because there's only so many you need. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then what I'm going to do is give them a little water, because these are very dry. They don't like to be overly wet, but at the same time they don't want to be bone dry either. I'll give them a water, and then a couple of weeks time we'll get in and we'll divide them, and I'll show you that process. It's amazing that weeds still can grow in a greenhouse. No water, no nothing. They stay there forever. If only we could eat weeds, eh? Bloody heck. Right. I also managed to find some mesh wire that I'm going to use on the arch outside the greenhouse here. I'm going to put it over the top, cable tie it on, because I hope that this year the roses, the climbing rose and the various climbers that I've got on this arch will really go for it, and we'll get quite a lot of that covered with plants. So I'm going to attach that on as well. Then I've got to prepare later on this afternoon. I'm going to go home, get the fire lit and watch a little bit of rugby, but before that I've got to prepare for the plot holders meeting, get the agenda ready for, when is it? It's not next Saturday, it's the following Saturday, so 2 weeks of today. Get that sorted. We've already put the posters up on the gates to let everybody know, and hopefully we'll get a good attendance. No point moaning about things, you know what I mean? Get to the meeting, let us know and see what we can do about it, if anything. Right, let's get outside. Before we do, there you go, as you can see, that's all nicely covered. I'll put a little bit of weight on it, but basically all that's going to do is keep any weeds down, and just keep the moisture in the soil, and we'll be good to go come end of April, beginning of May. So I managed, when we were clearing that area, to find some of this wire, meshed wire, and what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to put it over the top of this archway. But what I've got to do first of all is get some tie wraps, which I think I've got in the greenhouse. I'm going to need some bolt croppers. It's going to take a while for me to get used to. Where are we? It's going to take a while for me to get used to not having the van, because stuff like the bolt croppers were always in the van, and they were always to hand. So now it's going to be a little bit different until I get myself sorted out. And thank you very much for all those lovely messages that I got with regards to, obviously, Instaplanter and its demise. It were really encouraging. It made me feel so much better reading all those messages. There were absolutely loads, and I hope that I've answered them all. But yeah, I really do appreciate it, and a lot of people sort of echoed the same thing. When one door closes, a better one opens. And believe it or not, within a matter of hours of that video being filmed, a door opened. I'll tell you about that. It'll probably be a couple of weeks now, but yeah, things are certainly looking up. Right, so what I'm going to do, as you can see, this is too long. This is too long. So what I'm going to do first of all is get it up to the end there, like that, and then just get a tie wrap round it. And then what I'll do is I'll get the bolt cutters once it's fastened on, and I'll clip that off. We have got some somewhere. I know I have. just get it on there so that it doesn't fall. To be fair, I want to be there, so that needs to slide over a bit. There, that's it. Yeah, I'm hoping that we get a really nice, let me pull one down here first, a really nice display, because it's like when you plant you know, young climbers, you don't really see a good show in the first year or two, but then after that you're then rewarded for your patience. Right, so that's on there, so that's holding that down. Yeah, just need to move that one over there like that, put that one on. It's so lovely to have a nice day for a change. I'm hoping that everybody's got it and they can get out in the gardens. Right, I'm just going to put this next one on, but I'll go into proper fastening them down once I've got them all up. There we go. It's a shame there weren't any more of this, because I could have done sort of the whole arch. There, you know. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Get over there. Right, cross it over a bit. Right, let's get something in. It's, you know, silly little things, doing this now. It's these things that make me ache. So I will feel this, you know, the stretching and the twisting. It's not so much the heavy graft. That don't really bother me. But it's that twisting around, and my body's not that subtle anymore. It's as subtle as granite. Right, let's see, that one on there. Let's get you over there. It does my head in. Yeah, that's it. We've gone from soaking wet ground to frozen ground now. Yeah, which sounds about right, doesn't it? I'm absolutely loving it. What's that look like? Yeah, I'll get the sides down. So I'll get... So like here, look. Try and bring that in. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, give us a break. That's it. Right, leave me to do this. Leave me to struggle and strain, and I'll get back to you. There we go. It's all nicely fastened on. As I say, I'm going to keep an eye out. It'd be great to be able to come down all the way down to this side. Right, let's go in greenhouse, where I think I might have dropped a clanger. I came in this morning and I forgot. All I'd done is had the few seeds that I've got going down here, add this lid on, but if you remember, I normally double it up, but it hadn't been that cold. I never watched the forecast. Yesterday, so I just went and it just had that on, and when I came in this morning, these onions were looking a little bit limp. They've not, I don't think they've caught the frost because they were covered, I think they're just feeling sorry for themselves. It's been a little bit of a cold night, so I'm hoping that they'll liven up, and also the cosmos, but they look fine. So fingers crossed I haven't dropped a clanger, but they do look a little bit straggly. Now they do need a little bit of a clip because they are straggly, but I don't want to do it while they're wet. There's not any roots showing through there just yet, so I'm fine. Once the roots start to show through there, it means I've got to get a bit of a shift on. You can just see maybe a few little ones there, so it won't be long before I'm repotting these, and you'll see how I do it. I ain't messing about pricking out individual onions. They'll get lifted up, slapped in as they are into a nice deep pot. Then what I'll have is a plastic bag over them to protect them from any frosts or anything like that, and that's how it goes. I see people, you know, pricking them out and do. Come on, life's too short, folks. Life's too short for all that. They're tougher than what you think. Right, all the native hedge plants are all looking good. I've just potted these ones on just to make sure that we've got some spare. So what I'm going to do, because I've neglected to do anything over these past few weeks, is I'm going to nip up and I'm going to have a look and see how they're doing. Let's go for a wander in this lovely sunshine. Bob that one back there before I forget where it goes. This allotment site is an absolutely different place in the summer. It's absolutely green, lovely trees everywhere. It's just a completely different vibe to what it is now. And I know we've got what, probably another 8 weeks of naff weather, and then we can start to think really, really positively about that warm weather coming. But look at this. Let me just turn you around. I'm on my way. Just turn you around. Look at this. It's just unbelievable, the amount of water that these are sort of holding. But a lot of the plots are like this. A lot of the plots, and it's to be expected. You know, we've had a real, what, full nearly 6 weeks of rain. So once they dry out, hopefully it won't wash away too much of the nutrients. I think on a day like this that everybody would be rushing to the plots. You know, they've been kept off them for 6 weeks, but I think there's only myself, I think Les is on over the other side and Christian's on at my side, so there's 3 of us. You think they'd be rushing to get down here, but I suppose we're not all made the same, are we? It wouldn't do for us all to be the same. Right, we're nearly up at the top. Right, these, you can see, have all started to get a little bit of colour in them. The cornice there is reddening up because that's what they do at this time of the year. And to be honest with you, I think all those are looking quite good. It doesn't look like we've got any failures. You can tell there, you see, on this one, those little red buds are coming. So hopefully they'll all be the same. What we're going to have to do is make sure that when we're maintaining this edge, that we don't be too boisterous, and make sure that we don't take any of the heads off. So yeah, these ones over here, what I'll do is I'll give this grass a little bit of a cut in front, and then eventually we're going to have to probably spray that off, and then when we put the scalpings on the road, we'll go right up to the edge but these are certainly looking like they're moving. So yeah, I think it's going to look great. I think it's going to look great. We'll just check the other ones on the other side. Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. They're all looking good. Well, I'm going to put a brew on with a new kettle. And while I'm making this brew, I will let you show you the clip of yesterday when I first got on site and me and Michael were straightening up that area. I'll let you take a look at that now. Well, welcome back to the allotment and the channel. It's absolutely freezing today. It's wet, it's cold, and it's miserable. And I forgot my gloves. But as you can see, Mick's cracking on. So let me show you where we've got up to. So because of the conditions, obviously, I'm just gonna do a little clips of this and just add it into the video, but it's far too cold to be stood here holding a camera. As you can see, it's been really busy getting this down, getting this somewhere near level. We've pushed everything back up into that top corner, all the barbed wire, all the branches, and we're just going to deal with that as a separate job once we've spoken to next door to see what we can do about getting some sort of fence up there to stop folk getting in. But as you can see now, he's managed to get the big stump out. There's still one there, but we'll never get that one out. But what he's doing is just making a trench and putting all the rubbish into it, and then burying it over rather than filling as skips. This is just going to be a car park, so it's not as if anybody is going to be growing on here. So yeah, we have made a bit of headway. It's just me and Mick down today, but I think by sort of 3 o'clock we'll have got this looking somewhat like. I can't wait to get home and get my hands warm. Right, I'll bring you back when we've finished doing what we're doing, and show you a parting shot before the machine goes back. So we've Mick's finally finished getting the levels up, and we're just gonna track this out. Mick looks absolutely freezing. You cold, Mick?
Just a little bit. It's only a bit of sleet and snow.
Yeah, we'll be right, mate. The skin's waterproof, remember?
Yeah.
Bloody heck. It has been an horrendous day for it. So we're just tracking that machine up to the top, and the guy will come back and pick it up. But if you look at that, it's absolutely fantastic. So now we've got such a big area. So here, this wall, you can just see the edge of that wall. That's her plot. We're going to put a fence up here all the way to the top to delineate the end of the car park. And then the car park is going to be, let me show you, I'll move this bollard, and the car park is going to be from this bollard all the way along there. So it's added 50% on to the size of the car park that we had in the first place, and then from there all the way across beyond those two trees, all the way to here will be the manure bay. you'll be able to see it better there. So you can see the very far comb with this thing in it, the spiking, all the way to here. There'll be manure and wood chip at the end. So that, when did we start that? 2 weeks of Saturday ago. Our Kirsty and everybody came down and we got that fencing down. So that's brilliant progress. Made a bit of mess at track like, but the intention on this track here is this whole track is going to be, we're just going to put the chippings down, the road planings on it, because it doesn't get much light because of the trees. So we're thinking we've got to retain that edge somehow, because all the mud is just running down off that banking onto here. So we're going to try and retain that edge, and we're looking at second-hand telegraph poles to do that. There's a lot of people selling those, and it only needs one. And then also what we're going to do is, you can see here where we've got the retainer held with the kicker boards and the intermediate concrete posts. We're going to continue that all the way across to the end there. There's a reclamation yard called Dragon Bridge, and I think they sell those kicker boards at £3 a piece, and the posts. So we're going to get those, get that cemented in, and then what we can do then is we'll have 2 clean edges to drop in all the scalpings, and just have one nice smooth flat road. Here's Mick returning back. We're going to go have a brew. He's absolutely soaking wet and freezing. He's a good lad though. He's a very good lad. Right, so me and Mick are going to go get, oh, look on my face there. Me and Mick are going to get a brew. A well-deserved cup of Rington's tea.
That sounds champion.
It does, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Right, guys, we'll see you the next time. There you go. So you can see how cold me and Michael were yesterday, and no wonder I've got a bit of a sniffle. But that area looks completely different now. I think hopefully everybody will be able to see what it was we were trying to achieve. So the thing that we're on the lookout for now is getting a decent price for some scalpings, so we can get that dropped and get that dropped on the car park area. Then once we've done that, we can then put the fence up to delineate between the plot holder's plot and the car park, and we'll also probably put another little fence up, delineate where the car park ends, where the wood chip bay starts and the manure bay starts. So yeah, we're really chuffed with that bit of work. As I say, we could have done with better conditions, but do you know what? The job needs doing, it needs doing. And we're rewarded today with this lovely, nice, sunny weather. So yeah, it's amazing what the difference a couple of days make. As I say, another door has opened, and how that impacts on the channel, we'll have to wait and see. It might be that I can only upload 1 video a week. I think most YouTubers do that, allotment YouTubers anyway. But wherever I can, if that's going to be the case, wherever I can, whenever I can get a midweek update in, I'll do it, because I enjoy doing it, you know, and I like to keep everybody updated to the capers of allotment life. So yeah, a lot more of a cheery mood today and this week. So it's onwards and forwards, and hopefully you guys will be coming along with me. Thank you very much for all your messages. As I say, they were really much appreciated, and they did cheer me up. And also Thank you for all the likes, and welcome aboard those new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. I hope you stick around to see how we go on. You'll be surprised how much this plot will change over this next 3 months. I would say probably 3 months, 4 months time, this plot will be a completely different site. It'll be bustling with lovely fresh vegetables, and I'll be running around like a manic idiot trying to make sure that we can protect them from all the pests and the slugs and the pigeons, at the same time keep the weeds down. But it all makes for allotment growing, and that's the fun of it all. So I will see you definitely this Wednesday with an update. Hopefully, what I want to do next time when you're here is just check on those dahlias, see if they've come through. I've wrapped them in the really good fleece that I've got, and then I've give them some bubble wrap on the outside, and they've got fleece over the top, and then they're set in straw. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they've come through. As I say, we will be dividing the canners up in probably about a month's time. I need to get out now and get my potatoes sorted. I've not decided on what varieties. I think Cara will be there because I always grow Cara, but I think I'm going to try and go for some red potatoes this time, particularly main crop. So yes, I've all that to do. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope everybody's experiencing this little bit of sunshine just to top those vitamin D levels up, and I hope to see you all next Wednesday, as I say. So if you're watching, you've not subscribed, it'd be great if you could hit that subscribe button, give us a like, drop us a comment, and I'm still looking out about the hype, but you can still share. Right guys, take care, have a great rest of the weekend, and happy growing.